everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So this is the first quarter update for the products I want to use up in 2017. If you haven't seen the intro video, I will link it down below. But basically what I did at the beginning of the year, I went through all of my products and I picked out 50 items that I want to try to use up this year. And I have 4 categories of products. I have makeup, skincare, hair care, and body care. And all together I have 50 items I want to try to use up. Now I did this project last year and I thought it was fun to kind of just see what I was able to use up during a year. So I decided to do it again this year. So I will get started. I will show you everything I used up in the past 3 months. Now I'm just going to quickly show the products. If you want to see more about the products, I have all of the products in that I'm currently have used up. I have them in either my Project 10 pan, which is all makeup items, or I also have my non-makeup Project 10 pan. Those are for like the skincare, hair care, body care type of stuff. So if you want to see more on the products, definitely check out those videos. For this video, it's just kind of a quick update, and I'm basically just kind of sharing the numbers and where I am with this overall project. So to get started, the first category I have is makeup. So in total, I have 25 makeup items that I want to try to use up this year. At this point, the first 3 months into the year, I've used up 4 of them, or 16%. So a little behind with the makeup in terms of, you know, at this point, there's 25% of the year is finished, and I've used up 16% of the makeup. But I'm okay with it at this point. There's a lot of things that I think are going to take me, maybe until the end of the year to use up. So at this point, I'm okay with just 4 items being finished off. But the 4 items that I finished off, all lip products. They're the Fresh Sugar Lip Treatment in the color Cherry. That's the first item. The second item is the Fresh Sugar Lip Treatment in the color Nude. The third item is the Bite. It's like the Luminous Cream Lipstick Duo in the shades Cafe and Pepper. And then the fourth item is the Bare Minerals Marvelous Moxie Lip Gloss in the color Maverick. So those are the 4 makeup items. Moving on to the next category, which is skincare. So for this category, I feel like I'm right on track. In total for the year, I have 15 skincare items that I want to try to use up. And at this point, I've used up 4 of them, which is 27%. So right on track with skincare. So the 4 items that I used up, the first one is the Origins Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask to Clear Pores. The super long name on this one, but used it that. The second thing that I used up is the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. Next, what I used up is the Josie Maran Argan Oil. And then finally for skincare, the 4th item that I used up is the Drunk Elephant B-Hydra Intensive Hydration Gel, and this is like a deluxe size of it. So that's skincare category. Happy with that. My next category is hair care. For hair care, I have 8 items that I want to try to use up this year. At this point, I've only used up 1, or 12.5%. So a little bit behind with the hair care, but again, I think it's a category where a lot of the stuff is just going to take me the whole year or most of the year to use up. So at this point in the year, I've only used up 1 thing. That item is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Dry Shampoo. And then my last category is body care. And I don't have a ton of stuff for body care. I feel like I get through that stuff pretty quickly. I don't have a lot of stuff that just sort of sits around. So for this category, I only have 2 items specifically that I want to use up this year. At this point, I've used up 1 of the items, or 50% of the category. And the 1 item that I've used up is the Bath & Body Works Aromatherapy Stress Relief Eucalyptus Tea Sugar Scrub. So that is all the categories in total at this point in the year. Of the 50 items I want to use up, in total I've used up 10 or 20%. So a little behind of being at 25%, but overall I feel pretty good about it. I do have a couple other goals that I wanted to quickly mention my progress on for the year. So I have a couple of palettes that I want to try to use this year, use as much as possible, and kind of declutter at the end of the year. So I'll show you my progress on the palettes. The first thing is my Naked palette. This is my oldest eyeshadow palette. I really just want to focus on this palette this year and try to use it as much as possible and then declutter at the end of the year. I'm not necessarily looking to pan this entire palette because there's some colors I just don't think that I will be able to actually get through. But I just want to kind of use this as much as possible, pan it as much as possible. So I do have this currently in my Project 10 pan. There's two shades, Sidecar and Toasted, that I've been focusing on trying to use up. But I kind of wanted to just mention this palette in this update because it's something that I have as a product I want to use up this year. So this is what my palette looks like currently. So when I started off the year, I had a little bit of the Virgin shade left, and I had a little, like just a little teeny bit of the Naked shade left. The Sin color was used up previous to this year, so that one hasn't changed. But I've now completely used up both of those shades. I just had a teeny bit left of both of them, but they are completely finished off. And then Toasted. This is a eyeshadow I've been trying to use up for my Project 10 pan, and I had hit pan on it when I had started off the year. But now that shade is completely gone. I've been really focusing on this for the past few months, so that shade is completely finished off. So this is what my palette looks like currently. Again, I'm just trying to use this as much as possible, and then I can declutter at the end of the year. So that's where my palette stands at this point. And the other sort of palette, I guess this would be considered a palette, but the other item that I'm trying to finish off, or at least not finish off everything, but just use it as much as possible so I can declutter at the end of the year, or maybe sooner if I decide this stuff isn't going to work for me. But it's the Too Faced Brow Envy little kit. So this has 4 different products. There's a setting wax, a highlighter, and then 2 brow powders. So when I started off the year, I had a little bit of the setting wax left, but now that is completely finished off. And that's the main thing I wanted to use up from this palette was the wax. I normally just kind of set my brows with like a brow gel, so I was trying out using a wax. So that has been completely finished off. The brow powders, I don't really use, like, I don't really add any, like, color to my eyebrows, so I don't really want to use those as eyeshadows. I've kind of tried, and, you know, I have other eyeshadows like better, so I'm not really wanting to try to use those up. I'm perfectly fine with just decluttering the brow powders. So the remaining product that I really want to see what I want to do with, want to try to use, is the highlight, which I've kind of had hit or miss success using that. Sometimes I really enjoy using it, and sometimes I think it looks awful. So I'm still trying to play around with that and make a decision, like, do I really want to try to use it up, or do I just want to kind of declutter this palette? So that's where my palette currently remains. I still want to play around with especially the highlight a little bit more before I make a final decision with this, but at this point the setting wax is used up, and I'm still trying to think about how to use the highlight. But that's where this palette stands currently. And then my final goal was related to samples. I wanted to use up 50 like foil packet or perfume vial samples, like little free samples during the year. And for the first quarter, I've done what I think I've done awesome. So far, I've used up 37 samples. Like, I just, you know, samples tend to sit around a lot, so it's just like, I'm going to use samples. I'm going to just continuously use up samples, and so far I've used up 37, so really good on that goal. So I have all my samples in this little bag. I won't go through all of them, but I counted them up, and there's a mix of like perfume samples and like skincare, makeup. There's some hair care, basically any sort of sample. But so far I've used up 37 of them. So anyway, that is my update, and yeah, I'm excited about the progress and how this project is going, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.